Sharon to the stage. Over to you, Sharon.
Thank you so much, Ashika. I really appreciate all the Catholics who are here and for supporting all throughout from the very beginning. So this is a book all about. So this is a book written by Chetan Bhagat, One Night at Call Center. So all this book is about Chetan Bhagat. Chetan Bhagat has written a lot of books, and amongst these books, this is one of the most published books all over in India and all over the countries. So this book has been published not only in India, through UK's, USA's, Russian countries and lot of them. So this book stands a lot about his journey where he's traveling from Kanpur to Delhi. So what happens during this journey is that he's traveling in a train, and what happens at that moment is he feels there is no one in the train. The train is very empty. The compartment where he is sitting right now currently is there is no passenger at all. It's very empty. And he starts feeling at that moment is that there's no one. What can I do about this moment? So now he's obviously a writer, he's a great writer. But he doesn't have anything to do. He doesn't have a phone, or he doesn't have a books, or doesn't have an article to write or speak about. So what happens at that moment is he starts thinking what to do. And very now and then he sees outside, like if there is someone coming from outside. But at that moment he will be like, please God, let anyone at least enter there. And at that moment, there will be one girl who will be coming in. And he will be like, mesmerizing, he will be shocking, oh, that's a pretty girl, good looking girl. Because she will be having the long hair, nice, good looking in personality and even in looks. So at that moment, that girl will be walking towards, and Chetan Bhagat doesn't look that much into her, but he'll be doing his own work, he'll be seeing down on this and that side. But what happens at that moment is that girl herself comes to him and asks him, where is this compartment? She tells the number 412. She wants to know where is the seat. And very shockingly what happens here is, the way he's sitting, now if I'm sitting here, the opposite seat is of that girl. So he'll introduce himself and well, it's here. So that girl is sitting next to him. If it's me, it's Chetan Bhagat, and she was directly sitting next to him. So what happens at this moment is, obviously, if she's sitting in front of him, there is no one. He has to introduce her, he has to speak something, right? So he feels very bored. At that moment, he will be like, do you know Chetan Bhagat? This is the question he asked. And she's like, yes, I do know him. So he wants to flex, he wants to show that he himself is Chetan Bhagat and is very good and is very good at writing things, and obviously. So he says, it's me, Chetan Bhagat. And at that moment itself, that Chetan Bhagat will be like, I have written a lot of books, do you know? So the question was much confusing or much hard for her to answer it, because she didn't know what to answer at that moment. But she answers like, yes, I have read a lot of books. And at that moment, she ignores him, very ignores, like she does her face, and she doesn't want to talk to him at all. She ignores clearly on his face. And this feels very hurtful for him, because a big writer, and when you don't get a certain respect and that response from other person, you obviously will feel upset about it. So he felt very upset at that moment, and then he asked us a question. I wrote a book on ITI, or youths on ITI. So she was like, yes, I do know it. But what makes you feel that my book is not worth it, or my book is not that strong, or my book is not that good enough that you are talking this way with me? So at that moment, she'll be like, it's a book. Yes, it is a book. It's not this book I'm talking about. It's a book, ITI. Yes. He wrote the first book on ITI of all the youths, ITI youths. So at that moment, she'll be like, you wrote the book just on ITI youths. Why couldn't you include all the youths at that moment? He gets that question. He keeps on thinking about it, but then he defines saying that, oh, I could have done that. Okay. Now coming to the point is that how this book came to a path. What did he write in this book, and why did he write, and what are the things he wrote in this book? To start with this book is that he will talking to that girl, and very now and then she tells that she doesn't like that book what he wrote on the firstly. And so at that moment he will say, okay, then fine, you don't want to talk. But he feels lonely now because she's not talking to him. He's feeling very upset. I mean, no one's there, nothing can be done. At that moment she'll tell, if you want me to talk to you, she'll tell a book that you're supposed to be writing on. So she'll tell something that he's supposed to be writing on. But Chetan Bhagat won't accept it because a great writer, he will never accept that. I'm not going to do it. So what she does is she takes her clothes and she changes it off and she's about to put the clothes on and about to sleep. Now at this moment, Chetan Bhagat has nothing to do. So he'll think, what can I do? And that moment he'll say that, okay, fine, any book you're going to say, I'll write on it. But still that person is there. Is he going to write or not? Okay. So the thing is that now, he'll ask her, obviously he wants to know what that book she is telling him to write about. So she'll tell it's about one night call center. Just one night call center. It's just about one night. It's not about other days. It's just about one night. So, okay, I'll introduce the characters. There are 6 characters in this book, 3 girls and 3 boys. Yeah, so namely, there is one military uncle, he doesn't have a name. Radhika, Isha, Varun, Priyanka, and himself. Okay, coming to the part, this book, when he's saying, but now obviously they both are already there. Now Chetan Bhagat is asking about that book. Now that girl says about this book, what is that book he's supposed to be writing on. She tells one night call center and then she starts up with saying that you can go through these people, these 6 of them and ask about what this book is. So now at this moment she tells it's about call night center. Okay, what finally happens is that these 6 people, Radhika, Isha, Varun, Priyanka, military, uncle and one more guy, they'll be working in one call center and at that center what happens is that they usually work, they work very hard. It's a very hard work. They have to pick calls again and again. And at one fine day, when they're working and they're going back to the house, they'll be traveling in a car. So they're passing through the road and they directly hit something. They hit a pole. They fall through down and the building structures, the rods or the compartments will break and it will fall down. It is about to fall down. And they're kneeling on the top. Very edge, very at the top. And if something happens, if someone will even move, they're gonna fall down. Okay, this incident will happen in call center itself. They'll hit a call center. They'll be in the call center right now. Now the situation is that no one can help them. They can't contact. They're trying to reach on the phone. Network issues are coming. They're trying to call through the calls which are there in the centers itself. It's a hi-fi. It's a technologist life. So they try to there, but still not able to reach anyone. And they wait for a long time. Now what happens is that they get a call from God. Okay, so the God will be like, it's me, God is speaking. Something funny, right? Something funny. Obviously, they might not have the question. Why would God call us? Why would God be calling here right now? So they thought that at that moment, he's making a fun. At that moment, the person who's speaking in the call is making a bluffing or just making a joke around there. But that person, the God who called, all the 6 of them, they will be like, God will be like, okay, if you don't want to listen to me, then I have nothing to do about you people. I don't care about you. If you don't want me to help you, then fine then. But at that moment they realize, okay, if we want help, at least this person has called. Maybe if it's not God or maybe it's anyone else. At that person at least called, right? Now they can reach to such an extent that they will be saved. But truly, my dear friends, truly all the ones who are sitting here, it was God who called them. Okay, now come to the question is that, yeah, they are in very dangerous, and now God will question them. God will question all the 6 of them. How many calls do you get per day? Per day, because they're working in a call center, he'll question, God will question, how many calls do you get per day? So they will be like 100 and max to max 200. That's all they will be saying. But at that moment, God will question one biggest question. What is the most important call you get in your life? Can I get an answer? What is the most important call you get in your lives? Maybe parents or someone else. But there is a network issue. What can be the most important call? God will answer. It's an inner call. Inner call. It's a call of myself. God is speaking within me. Inner call is something that God himself is speaking. Now let's assume I'm doing something wrong. I've done a lot of things which are wrong. But at the end of point, you will realize you're doing something wrong. And that guilty or that something, God is speaking within you. God will tell that you're doing wrong and you're not supposed to be doing it. That is what it is. And now, coming to the certain point is that God will question one more thing to them. Have you done wrong in your life? And they will obviously say, yes, everyone is a sinner. So they told, yes, I have done a lot of things which are wrong. And God asked them, asked all 6 of them, what is the thing that you want to change in your life? Think it for 3 minutes. God gave just 3 minutes. So they'll think and they'll start thinking. They'll think a lot of things, maybe anger issues, or maybe sadness, or maybe attacking someone, or maybe a lot of things. They think it and then they tell it one by one to God that I have anger issues, I have this problem, I'm not good enough, I'm not worth it, I'm not worthy of you, Lord. They'll be like, they'll take the God and tell that I'm not worthy to do anything, I'm not good enough, I don't have the confidence in me. So God tells them, okay, let's make a deal. If you want to change something in your life, and then only I'm going to rescue all of these people, 6 people, they're going to die. They're just in the state, they're going to die next sometime. 4 things that should be changed, God said was, first comes to intelligence, self-confidence, failure, and strength. Okay, failure. I'll come only to one point is failure. Everyone has a failure. Even at times, I had a failure. I was not that confident enough to be standing here in front of few people and talking about a lot of things. This is my failure. And there are a lot of failures which come in our life too. But God told, it's very easy to come upon failure. It is just that we have to give everything to the God. We have to surrender ourselves to the Lord that He will do things great for us. And this moment, all 6 of them realize they're doing some things are wrong, some things are good, and they give it to the God, and that moment, things will change from now on. And God is not gonna directly help them, like, see, that, 6 people take care from and directly to their rooms. That is not what is going to happen. They have to work hard right now. They have to do something. God tells that these are rods, right? You can tie and walk through it and reach your path. That is what God told. It means that if you're finding some difficulty in your life, you have to work together and then pass through it. Now the situation is that still they keep on asking questions to the Lord. How to pass? If I do it, will I reach there? These are the questions. But God doesn't answer. At very end of the time, one of the person, it's military uncle, will be having one kind of lungi and they'll tie it and do lot of works. They work hard and at the end of the point, they reach out. Now my question is, after reaching out, did everything's clear in their life? Not at all. Every single day, every single human being, every single person has struggles. Every single person is going through one or the other thing, maybe sadness, maybe difficulties, or maybe depression, or lot of things. It is all about surrendering and working on ourselves. It is about our inner call, us speaking to us, me speaking to me, Lord speaking to me, God speaking to me. That is what it is. To this point, 6 people, they were very bad, they were not working hard. But what changed from that moment is that these 6 people reached to such an extent that they got a good jobs, they started working in a lot of good places, IT companies, a lot of companies, they quit their jobs, which were they working in call centers, and they reached to a certain extent that they became very successful in life. Okay, God blesses us everything, right? Now, one question is that, do we feel unworthy at times? Yes, we do. Even at times, Chetan Baba says that even he has felt unworthy at lot of times. Even when it comes to me, I have felt a lot of unworthy, a lot of times when I do things wrong, I feel unworthy. But it's all about making good and standing on my own path and someone else giving the respect and giving. If you do something wrong, obviously one or the other person, maybe classmates, maybe teachers, maybe your sisters, maybe your brothers, maybe your parents are going to guide you and reach you to that extreme. Okay, now this is what the conversation will keep on going between one of the lady and Chetan Bhagat. That lady didn't tell the name yet. So I told you 5 names in the very beginning. One is military uncle, Radhika, Isha, Varun, Priyanka, and himself. Obviously, lady speaking to her, right? To him, I'm sorry, to her. Three ladies are there, 3 girls. One is Radhika, Isha, and Varun. Sorry, Priyanka. So these are the 3 girls. Now, Chetan Bhagat will get the question. Why should she speaking about the concept? Because obviously she should be knowing, and she must be one of the person who was struggling there at that moment. So one by one in question, is it Priyanka? she does? No. Is it Radhika? Because you look beautiful, that's why I think it's Radhika. Like, no. Takes one more name, still no. Then he gets a question, who can it be? And at that moment, that lady who was sitting in front of him, obviously, will ask a question, what are your struggles? But still, this dumb guy will be like, I don't know, who is this person? And at a certain extent, she raised her hand and kept it on him. She was doing it very frequently, but he didn't notice it. Very shockingly, it was God who was sitting in front of him, and then God was speaking to him. My dear friends, I want to say you here is that, why did God come and meet him? Maybe someone else could have told the story, right? He was facing a lot of struggles in his life, dear friends, and that is why God met him. Okay, the reason behind this book, I say why I like this book is because even I went through a lot of struggles in my life, even I went through bad things in my life, and even still right now, I'm going through a lot of bad things. I know I'm facing a lot of difficulties, doing a lot of worse things in my life, but this book teaches me something new, something great, how I can stand on myself, how I can depend on myself, how someone else will help you to change in your life. God met him and told him that this is the book you're going to write, and this book inspires every single youth to stand on himself and or herself and work on his life. Thank you. Thank you every single one and every single person who have been here. Thank you principal and all the faculties and staff and all the students coming here and listening to a wonderful, beautiful story which is written by Chetan Bhagat, One Night at the Call Center. Thank you.
Thank you, Sharon, for your insightful and detailed review of One Night at the Call Center by Chetan Bhagat. Your presentation was truly engaging and informative, offering us valuable takeaways from the book. As a token of love and appreciation, I now request our respected principal to kindly present a certificate to Sharon. Thank you, sir, for this gesture of encouragement. As we come to the conclusion of this wonderful book review program, it is time to express our heartfelt gratitude. First and foremost, our sincere thanks to our respected principal for gracing this occasion with their presence and support. A special thanks to the head of various departments, our esteemed faculty members, and of course our dear students for making this event a success with your enthusiastic participation. Each and every one of you have contributed to the success of this program, and we truly appreciate your time and involvement. Thank you all once again. Have a great day ahead.